Hi, I'm Tom, physiotherapist and osteopath. In the previous video, I talked about health literacy and how having adequate health literacy improves health outcomes, helps you better navigate the healthcare system, and how it empowers you to take the right health decisions. I also explained that good health literacy plays a key role in the prevention of lifestyle diseases like heart diseases, diabetes, obesity, chronic inflammation, and so on. Now, one of the pillars of health literacy is having basic essential knowledge about how your body works and what it needs to function properly. Having a good understanding of this motivates you to take the right health decisions and facilitates the implementation of good lifestyle habits. Besides these facts being backed up by research, I can also confirm this from my own experience with my patients. When working with my patients in the clinic, I always explain to them in plain language what is going on in their body regarding to their complaint, why this might have happened, and what is needed for their recovery. It's something that has always felt natural to me. I think it's because I myself also like it when a healthcare provider takes the time to explain me what is exactly going on. I feel it's an essential part of my treatments because it completely changes the attitude of the patient involved. Many people come to see me with this idea of, you're the health professional, just fix me. But that's not exactly how it works. Therapy is not a one-direction engagement. Recovery from discomfort or pain or injury is in fact an active process. The treatments that we apply, like manual therapy, massages, and so on, are really helpful in the short term, but to create long-term changes, to improve overall health and build durable resilience, this requires an input from the patients themselves. And this is where health education helps me a lot. Once people understand what is going on, which bodily processes are involved, and what the timeline of recovery is, their attitude towards the treatment changes completely from a more passive, I'm here to receive kind of attitude to an engaging, proactive attitude. And that's when they start to put in their part of the work, and they are motivated, and they have the right expectations. They start implementing lifestyle modifications to work towards prevention so they can avoid their complaints or injuries in the future. They are what we call in osteopathy strengthening the terrain. So the concept of strengthening the terrain is what I would like to discuss today. For the origin of this concept, we have to go back in time a bit, more specifically in the mid-1800s in France. On the one hand, there was Louis Pasteur, the scientist who invented the pasteurization process and a couple of vaccines like the rabies vaccine, the anthrax vaccine. He was also the creator of the germ theory, stating that microorganisms are responsible for diseases. On the other hand, there were Claude Bernard and Antoine Béchamp, two scientists who came up with the terrain theory. With terrain, they refer to the body's internal environment. And a healthy or strong terrain means that all the tissues are of good quality and all physiological and metabolic processes are in balance. According to their theory, disease only arises when the terrain is weakened or out of balance. These two opposite theories led to heavy discussions in the scientific world. Eventually, the medical establishment adopted the germ theory, heavily influenced by the economic situation of that time with the upcoming of the pharma industry. Prevention is not as lucrative for the industry as curing. But thanks to the scientific development of the past centuries, we now know that the reality lies somewhere in between the two theories. There is no doubt that bacteria, viruses, and other germs can make us sick. But we also know that they can only succeed in making us sick when the circumstances are right. Why do some people catch a cold from someone else and others don't? If you put 10 people in a room and one of them has the flu, some will also get the flu and others don't. So why is that? Well, that brings us back to the terrain theory. Microorganisms will only be able to make us sick if the terrain is weak, if the body's internal environment is out of balance. You have proof of that every day. you come in contact with about 60,000 types of germs on a daily basis. 60,000. Everything you touch with your hands has germs on it. They even live on our skin. And then you touch your face or your mouth or you pick your nose, and yet we miraculously survive this germ invasion. That is because the vast majority of microorganisms can only cause us harm when our defenses are not functioning properly. When our internal environment is out of balance, the body uses a lot of energy trying to restore this balance, and this can leave vital systems, including our immune system, with suboptimal resources. And then germs have the opportunity to make us sick. It's all about load and loadability. The higher your loadability, the higher the load you can tolerate. But if the load is higher than the loadability, then we have an overloading problem. Now let me explain this with a more visual example. Imagine you have a thick rope, a rope that is designed to carry a weight of 2,000 pounds. The rope is brand new, in perfect conditions. It can safely withstand the 2,000-pound load. Even if you put on 2,200 pounds, it's unlikely it will snap. But if you put on 3,000 pounds, although it is in optimal condition, it will snap. The load far exceeded the loadability. This refers to the very small percentage of germs that can even make the healthiest of people sick. Now, imagine that rope has been used many times and it starts to show signs of wear and tear. You know, like several of the outer fibers are torn and start to stick out. You put on a load of 1,800 pounds because, hey, it's designed to hold 2,000 pounds easily. But all of a sudden, it snaps. The sub-maximal load was too much because the loadability decreased. The load was normal, but the loadability was lower than it should be. The terrain was weakened, so the normal load was able to cause damage to the rope. This refers to the situation in which the germs that we are in contact with every day and that normally don't cause us harm now have the opportunity to make us sick, because our internal environment is in suboptimal condition. Okay? Now, let me summarize. Overloading, which refers to damage or illness, can occur in two situations. First, the structure or the system is in optimal condition, but the load is extremely high. Yeah? The rope is made to withstand 2,000 pounds, but you put 3,000 or 4,000 pounds on it and it snaps. And secondly, the structure or the system is weakened and the load is normal or even below the maximum. Several fibers of the rope are torn, so it's weakened and it cannot withstand a normal load. Now, when it comes to our health, it's not only infectious diseases we have to worry about. In fact, the number one health problem nowadays are non-communicable diseases or lifestyle-related diseases. Our modern lifestyle, characterized by highly processed foods, sedentary behavior, and chronic stress, is weakening the terrain of our body's internal environment, making us more susceptible to all kinds of chronic diseases, even from a young age. The research clearly indicates that the vast majority of chronic conditions are preventable. There are 4 key metabolic changes or imbalances that significantly increase the risk of non-communicable diseases, and these are high blood pressure, overweight or obesity, high blood sugar levels, and high levels of fat in the blood. Unfortunately, in conventional medicine, the focus lies on symptom modification through medication, instead of tackling the root cause. And yes, this root cause very often lies in the person's lifestyle habits. There is plenty of evidence that shows that lifestyle or behavioral changes are as effective as medication in lowering blood pressure, blood sugar, and cholesterol, because those lifestyle changes are strengthening the terrain. We know for a fact that most of the diabetes type 2 patients could come off of their medication if they would adhere to a low-carb diet. If the sugar is making you sick, if the sugar is weakening your terrain, you take away the sugar. instead of giving a pill that helps the body deal with the sugar. But that is, of course, not so interesting for certain industries. Now, don't get me wrong, conventional medicine is doing really great things and is saving lives, but overdiagnosis and overtreatment are proven facts. Medicine needs to focus on prevention. That's the only way our healthcare systems will remain sustainable. And that is what the Metabo Wellness Method is all about. Empower you with essential health knowledge so you can prevent your children and your entire family from chronic illness. Hi, thanks again for watching this video. Just a quick message to inform you that because of reasons beyond my control, the online class has been rescheduled for Sunday, the 12th of May at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. I hope to see you there. Bye-bye.